I'm paraphrasing a bit, but I think you've been quoted as saying you'd rather be polarizing than having people just have like this lukewarm reaction, like, yeah, Shane Ryan, his films are okay, but you'd rather have somebody really feel strongly one way or the other. Why is that? Either they love your films or it's not for them.
Yeah, because I mean, if you just think something's all right, then you forget about it, you know? I mean, there's been movies where I don't know if like I hated them, but I would never watch them again. Like there's one movie I saw called Family Portraits. When did I see? I saw Image put it out actually. I saw it like 10 years ago, and I didn't hate it. I hated watching it. You know, it was sort of, it disturbed me. It just really struck a nerve, and I was just like, instantly gave the movie away to somebody else who I thought might want to watch it, and I was like, I don't need it back. You know, I'm never going to watch this movie again, but you got to watch it. You know, versus there's other movies where it's like that was amazing and I have to keep watching it. But there was another movie. Again, I didn't hate it. It's called The Living and the Dead. I couldn't even get through it. It really just did not make me feel good. And I've seen plenty of movies that don't make me feel good or kind of disturb me, but this just, I don't know how to explain it. It just really pissed me off. But I still went out and bought, just last week, this is years later, you know, like a new movie that I saw by him, because I'm like, okay, I got to try and watch this now, because like I thought he did such a good job with what he was doing, but sorry, my stomach was so loud, I don't know if that. I thought he did, you know, a really good job with what he was doing. It just did not sit well with me, and that's what a lot of people have told me. But I'd rather my movie not sit well with you than you just be like, oh, it's cool, because do I ever talk about movies that I was like, yeah, it was all right? I probably forgot about it. And you don't really want that as an artist for a lot of reasons. If somebody absolutely loves or hates, especially if they love it, obviously you want the love thing first, but if they absolutely hate it, they're going to talk about it. That's free publicity. So, and I've had to learn to look at filmmaking from every angle, doing everything you know, on my own, you know, for so many years. It's like, I mean, even you know, distributing, like I've gotten in with distributors, learning that whole thing. So I've really kind of learned, I don't really know how to do anything well, but I know a little bit about everything, you know. And so I'm always looking at stuff from every angle. And if they hate it, they're going to talk about it. And then they're going to create discussion and debate. I love debate. I actually went to college. When I tried to go to college when I was 18, I went for journalism. And I never liked going to school. So like we had, I never did good on quizzes. Every quiz I failed. I think I got an F on every single quiz. But we were only graded 2 ways. The other way we were graded was we would have to read these debates on you know, this versus that, and then write our opinion on why we were so for something or so against something. And I didn't read a single one of these debates. I just read the subject and I just BS'd the whole thing, and I never got lower than an A+. Because I even got an extra credit on some, an A++ extra credit, you know. And what that was is I just loved that idea of having such a strong opinion. I didn't even need to know what it was about. I just could just find something and tune in and just go with it, you know. And I think if people, so that's that whole debating thing. So I think if people have that, just like all these things we were told to read, like it just creates all that awareness, you know, because it creates debates. Like I saw some filmmaker, this guy I know, Ryan Nicholson, who makes very gory films, and my films don't have any gore. They're all kind of psychological, or they have explicit nudity. You know, they're driven through like voyeurism, but they're not gory. So Ryan has a different crowd, but but he's a co-producer on My Name Is A. So anyways, he really loved the Amateur Porn Star Killer movies, which don't have a single drop of blood in the whole trilogy. And so he was promoting those the other day on his Facebook, and people just started going off about how much they hated it, because his fans probably all wanted to see gore and then they didn't get a single drop of blood, you know. And but that just created him now defending it, you know, a filmmaker who's, you know, more well known than me, you know, now defending me. So it just created this kind of debate thing and why he liked it, you know what I mean? So like it creates discussion, it creates talk, it creates awareness. But on top of people hating it because they just don't like it, then there's people who hate it because they don't want to face it. And that's, I think, more what I like, is I think because of my background, everything that's happened, it's like I've had to deal with shit since I was 5 years old that no 5-year-old should have to deal with, that I've had to face like every day of my life since. And I had to face so much shit as a kid. I never felt like I got to be a kid. And so it's like I'm kind of throwing out all my anger on screen, and you can't even fucking deal with that. If I had to deal with this in real life, you better deal with it on screen. You know what I mean? It's like, I guess it's just that confrontational attitude. You know, it's like if somebody was raped and then they made a movie about rape, and somebody's like, oh, I can't deal with that. It's like, you know, like if a girl, you know, made a movie about, you know, rape, it's like how dare, it's almost like how, you know, dare somebody, like, no, you better face this. This stuff happens. It happened to me. Watch this person get raped and know that this happens, you know? And I think that's what I do is, you know, it's like this stuff happened to me, or I'm very aware of it, and you don't want to deal with it. No, you better, you know, you better learn that that's out there. Just face it, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just kind of like, I mean, because I think if people were more aware, maybe it wouldn't happen as much, or maybe people would be more, if people who have a heart at least would be more willing to stop it. You know, I just think, I guess it's an awareness thing. If people, it's not like my movie's gonna change the world. It's not like I make a movie thinking it's gonna change the world. But you change people one person at a time, I think. And if you make people go, hey, this happens, you just made me realize that, maybe from there something can start, you know.
Or sometimes people don't like stuff because it reminds them of themselves. Like people that they say, oh, I can't stand that person. Well, sometimes you look at them and they're very similar. Maybe they don't see it, but it's, so sometimes people don't want to see stuff about themselves that's dark.
Well, it's funny because that's exactly what happened with Amateur Porn Star Killer, and our friend Chad, he mentioned there's a documentary about it now, and this guy we know, Chad, who was one of the very first people to stand. He was one of like the first 3 people. There was like 3 guys who saw the movie. They're all like middle-aged guys who saw it and just really stood behind it. And Chad specifically had said that it made him question not only himself but society. You know, he wondered. He said it basically. He went into it wanting sex and violence. He got sex and violence, and then he got it in a way where it made him go, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, why did I want to see that? It delivered on what I wanted to see, but in such a realistic way that it's like I just got hit with the reality that that's not a good thing, and what is wrong with me that I actually was hoping to have a good time watching that, because I didn't have a good time watching it. And it made him question the rest of society as well, you know. And I think that that movie, a lot of the people who I think actually liked the film did so, they did because they realized they needed to change something about themselves or their way of thinking. And the people, a lot of people I think didn't like it for the same reason, you know. And then that's another thing too. If people love or hate something, it's usually for the same reason, I think, actually, in a lot of ways. You know, the people loved it and hated it, it's for the same reason. Either they loved it because it, you know, spoke of that issue, or they hate it because it spoke of that issue. And that means that it's the issue, I guess, not the film. It's the issue, or it's the subject, which I'm realizing as I'm saying. But, you know, so maybe that's it.